You know, some cases never really go cold. They kind of become a part of a community story, the shadow that just lingers for decades. Today, we're going to talk about one of those cases, the absolutely heartbreaking, unsolved murder of Amy Mihaljevic. And just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a pretty surprising new clue has emerged. All right, let's just dive right in with the news that sent this huge wave of disappointment through everyone following this case. For years, there was this tiny glimmer of hope tied to forensic science, but a recent announcement, well, it felt like a major step backward.
This setback sparked a really frustrating question. I mean, after decades of waiting, and with all the incredible advancements in forensic science, was the key DNA evidence, the very evidence everyone was banking on, was it now completely useless?
So the reason for all this disappointment? Investigators had to confirm that the DNA samples they had were just too degraded, too broken down for the current testing methods to work. After all those years of waiting, it seemed like the only thing to do was wait even longer for technology that might not even exist for years.
To really understand just how deep this disappointment runs, we have to go back to the very beginning, because this wasn't just a crime that took a young girl's life. It was a crime that completely shattered an entire community's sense of security. Amy Mihaljevic was just 10 years old. It's just a number on a slide, right? But it represents an entire life of potential, a whole future that was so tragically cut short.
The timeline of this tragedy is just chillingly straightforward. It all started on October 27, 1989, with a simple phone call. Later that very same day, she was taken from a shopping center in her hometown of Bay Village, Ohio. And then, for months, nothing. Just silence. And then the absolutely devastating discovery of her body in a field, 50 long miles from her home.
And the cruelty in the method he used is chilling. This wasn't some random attack. The killer used a ruse, a trick. He called Amy at home, pretending to be a coworker of her mom's. He promised to help her pick out a surprise gift, and that's how he earned her trust, just long enough to lure her away.
Amy's abduction sent a shockwave through the whole community. I mean, for an entire generation of kids and their parents in the Cleveland area, the world suddenly felt a whole lot more dangerous.
This quote from a community discussion online really captures the lasting impact of this case. For those who are her age, living in that area, this wasn't just some story on the news. It was a defining moment of their childhood, a loss of innocence they would never, ever forget.
In this quote right here, it shows you how that fear just spread. It wasn't just the kids who were scared. Parents completely changed how they raised their children. The freedom kids once had was just gone. Doors were locked tighter, and every stranger was suddenly a potential threat. The world just felt less safe after Amy was taken.
So, okay, we have this decades-old tragedy, a recent and huge setback with the DNA evidence, and a community still heartbroken from the loss. It really felt like the case had hit a total dead end. But then, right in the middle of all that disappointment, something really surprising happened.
And here it is. This is the moment everything changed. Just weeks ago, law enforcement announced they had accepted a donation for brand new DNA testing in Amy's case. This single piece of information, you guys, it turns that dead end into a whole new beginning.
$15,000. I mean, this isn't just money. It is a lifeline for this investigation. It's a real, tangible symbol of hope. It's a second chance for forensic scientists to find the truth, and it's funded not by some official budget, but by a belief in getting justice for Amy.
And that brings us to where this case stands right now. It's a story that's been defined by the slow passage of time, the incredible advancement of technology, and a community's absolute refusal to give up hope. The final chapter? Well, it's still waiting to be written.
Despite all the years and all the setbacks, the community's hope is it's still there, unbroken. This person's belief, which is shared by so many, is that an answer isn't just possible, but it's finally within reach.
And so that leaves us with this one central question. After more than 3 decades of grief and mystery, could this unexpected donation, powering the very latest in DNA science, finally identify the person who took Amy Mihaljevic and bring a long overdue sense of justice to a community that has never, ever forgotten her?